Welcome back to the SDG Warriors Podcast. I'm Simar Mohanty, the team lead and student coordinator at SDG Warriors. We're a team of passionate student change makers and STEMnists who are on a mission to meet the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals by 2030, leveraging the power of STEM education and 21st century skills. Brought to you by us SDG Warriors, this podcast features inspiring stories of edu heroes and STEM experts from around the world. Ideal for students, teachers, parents, and anybody interested in STEM education and social impact. This podcast aims to provide enriching learning experiences and drive positive change in local, global, and digital communities. Today, we are going to be in conversation with the Jedi Master of Digital Curation, who is using his lightsaber called Wakelet to bring balance to the force of online content, Mr. Jamil Khalil.
Thank you, Simar. Thank you. I don't know about the lightsaber part. I love Star Wars, but thank you for bringing me as part of one of those characters.
It's such an honor to have you on our show, Mr. Jamil. And to give a more formal introduction to our audience, Mr. Jamil is the visionary founder and CEO of Wakelet, originally an engineer at Airbus. Mr. Jamil's expertise in problem solving and innovation led him to embark on a transformative journey in 2014. And his mission was clear: to create a platform that would empower users to curate, organize, and share content from across the web. From modest beginnings, Wakelet evolved into a global phenomenon, drawing in students like us, our teachers, researchers, and content creators alike. Mr. Jamil's passion for user-centric design and his belief in the power of technology to enhance human connections have been instrumental in Wakelet's success. And today, Wakelet stands as a testament to his passion for curation, innovation, and the art of meaningful storytelling. Mr. Jamil, before we jump into the conversation, to help our listeners audibly visualize the entire experience, can you tell us where are you right now, what's the weather like outside, and what can you see from your window?
I'm in Manchester, UK. To be nice, we've got good weather today. We don't normally have a lot of good weather. In Manchester, it rains a lot and it's always grey. And outside my window, I can just see a few other offices and some nice greenery and some trees. So we're on a nice science park. It's a nice setup and it's a nice office. But I'm so happy today that we've got some good weather for once.
That's fantastic to hear. Back here in Bangalore, it's like a peculiar blend of sun and sudden showers. And the rains are there, but the weather remains surprisingly warm. And it's more like summer than anything else. It's 2:30 p.m. right now, and it's lunchtime. Outside my window, I can see a food truck, and there are a lot of people who are hungry and who are looking forward to grab a bite from the food truck. Well,
Sounds like lunchtime for us here.
yes. Well, now that we've got that visualized, let's start right at the beginning and take a walk down memory lane. Mr. Jamil, what did your childhood and school days look like, and how did it impact the work that you do with Wakelet today?
Okay, so as I mentioned when I was speaking just behind the scenes, my childhood was quite challenging. I lost my mother when I was just 12, and as the oldest of four siblings, I had a lot of responsibility. And my father had to leave his job to care for us, which meant I needed to start working early to support the family at home. So balancing work and school was quite tough. And as a result, my grades suffered. I struggled academically, and not really because I lacked ability, but simply because I didn't have time to dedicate to my studies. So looking back, I realized that if I had a tool to help me organize my thoughts, my research, and my achievements, it could have made a huge difference. And having a way to structure my work and showcase my progress would not only have improved my studies, but also boosted my confidence, which was really important, and showcase what I was really capable of. And that's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about Wakelet today. Wakelet isn't just a tool for students, it's incredibly valuable for teachers too. And in scenarios like mine, Wakelet can help teachers to provide the right support. It enables them to create a more organized and personalized learning experience, track student progress, and engage with students more effectively, and provide resources in a way that's easy for students to access and engage with. And just to summarize that now, it's about bridging that gap between the potential achievement and giving both students and teachers the tools to succeed, no matter the challenges that they face.
that requires incredible dedication, balancing school, family responsibilities, and even working at a young age is definitely not an easy feat. While it might not be like the most comfortable experience for kids, these experiences definitely cultivate remarkable strength and time management skills, and most importantly, resilience that help you in the time of setbacks and build a strong foundation for future success. And like you mentioned, Wakelet turned out to be a strong inspiration, the strong force that drive that inspiration that you had since the beginning of time. Well, Mr. Jamil, you have worn many hats throughout your professional journey. So, from your experience in newspaper sales and marketing to an extensive career in aeronautical engineering at Airbus, we were so curious to know how have these diverse backgrounds influenced your work with Wakelet, and did you discover any surprising parallels between these fields and your current endeavors?
Yeah, and as you mentioned, I've done a lot of different things over the years. Just to give you an idea, I initially started working with a newspaper round, then a pizza shop, then I was coaching sports, then I worked on nightclub security. This was all during college and university. And then I went off to New Zealand and traveled around the world. In fact, Sima, I went to India for a while first. So I went to Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, Jodhpur, Jaisalmer, and Bangalore. So I traveled India for about 6 weeks. And then I went to New Zealand to work there for a year. That's really where my journey through newspaper sales and marketing started. And then after New Zealand, I went on to work at Airbus. So I have got a bit of a mixed bag. But these experiences have had a profound impact on my work at Wakelet. And for example, the New Zealand Herald, I learned the importance of clear communication and understanding the needs of audiences. And this taught me how to connect with people, which is really crucial when it comes to building a platform like Wakelet, where our user experience is everything. And moving into aeronautical engineering, this was a completely different world. Here, I developed a deep appreciation for precision, structure, and problem solving. And engineering is all about breaking down complex challenges into small, manageable parts, which is very familiar with how we approach building and improving Wakelet. Every feature and every update is carefully considered and tested to ensure it meets the user's needs. One surprising parallel I found between these fields and my current work is the importance of collaboration and innovation. I think this is really undervalued. And whether it's selling newspapers, engineering aircraft, or developing a digital platform, success comes from working together, thinking outside the box, and consistently striving to improve. So at Wakelet, we're always looking for new ways to help people organize and share information. And that mindset has roots in everything I've done before.
That's such a big takeaway for our listeners today, that embracing diverse roles throughout your career can bring a broader perspective and a deeper meaning into your projects and your entire journey. And like you shared, Mr. Jamil, experiencing in marketing provided you with these core skills in communication, and it taught you about the power of storytelling and understanding different audiences, which is extremely helpful today as you improve the user experience and storytelling experience in the wakes or collections at Wakelet. Meanwhile, your background in engineering taught you about the core skills of problem solving, precision, and structuring the key elements, all of which help to build a more robust and scalable platform. And this highlights the incredible value of interdisciplinary learning and how combining these different skill sets can drive innovation. Well, speaking of skill sets, let's dive deeper into the concept of one such essential skill. Mr. Jamil, as students, we've been surfing the C skills for quite some time. While communication, creativity, critical thinking, and collaboration remain at the forefront, we've noticed that there's an often overlooked C skill: curation. So, Mr. Jamil, how do you define the power of curation, and why do you think it is more relevant now than ever to surf the sea of curation?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, and it's a really good point. So the power of curation today lies in the ability to sift through lots of pieces of information and bring together the most relevant parts. That's really important. Not just relevant, but also meaningful, impactful content in a way that tells a story and then serves a purpose. And today, in a world where we're bombarded with information from all sorts of directions, curation has become a more crucial skill than ever. It's not just about collecting content, though. It's about making sense of it, providing context, and really connecting the dots to create something even more valuable. So today, with the sheer volume of data online, the ability to curate effectively is a skill that everybody needs. Whether you're an educator, a student, a professional, or someone just trying to navigate the digital landscape to purchase a product or maybe book a trip somewhere, curation helps cut through the noise and allows us to focus on what truly matters and make really more informed decisions. It empowers us to share knowledge, collaborate, and learn from one another in a more organized and meaningful way. So for us, this runs at the core of everything that we do at Wakelet. We've built our platform around this concept because we believe that curation is not just about managing information, but also amplifying voices, ideas, and experiences that might otherwise get lost in this digital world. And also, it's about taking control of the content that we consume and share. And in doing so, we're helping others to shape how others see and understand the world around us, because all of us have got different, unique perspectives and see things in different ways. And that's a really powerful attribute of why I like things about humanity.
Absolutely. In today's world where information overload, like you mentioned, is so abundant, curation definitely acts as a skill and as a guiding light for us to navigate this digital space. It helps us to focus on what truly matters, and whether it is for a school project or just staying informed on issues and sharing our voices about it, about the things that we care about, or just finding relevant stuff to share with friends. According to the different things that are happening in the world today, we interact with content. The way that we interact with content has shifted, and in this era of content creation, we don't just consume information passively. We engage with it, we share it, and then we also create our own content in different ways. Content curation along with content creation can serve as a powerful tool to showcase our interests and expertise and contribute to conversations and communities in a meaningful way. However, there's a challenge that many of us face while doing that. While curation provides focused information, it also risks creating echo chambers.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Jamil, how can we students create Wakelet collections that uphold the spirit of curation without isolating ourselves in echo chambers or succumbing to information overload?
Yeah, I think that's another really important question, and it touches on the balance we all need to strike when curating information. Curation's powerful because it allows us to focus on the most relevant content, but it's crucial to remain open to diverse perspectives and ideas, and to avoid the pitfalls of what you just mentioned, echo chambers. So as students, when you're creating Wakelet collections, it's important to be intentional about seeking out a range of viewpoints and sources. Don't just stick to the content that reinforces what you already know or believe. I think you need to challenge yourself and include materials that offer different angles or even contradictory to your initial thoughts. This not only broadens your understanding of basically different types of content, but also enriches the conversation around topics that you're exploring. And to avoid information overload, rather than just dumping lots of stuff into collections, start with a clear purpose for your collection. What do you want to achieve with it? And what are the key questions you're trying to answer? And by focusing on these goals, you can actually be more selective about the content you include, ensuring that everything you add adds value to your collection and makes it more richer and more meaningful. Now, the key thing about this is don't be afraid to revisit the collection. These collections are not just a one-time collection. You can refine them over time. Similar to how we keep refining our platform, you can do the same thing with the collection. So curation is an ongoing process. And as you learn and grow, your collections should evolve with you too. And engaging with others, inviting others to collaborate and being open to new information will also help make sure that you keep curation's efforts dynamic and balanced, and avoiding the trap of what you initially said of creating echo chambers. And this will make it much more worth it and create the most wealth of information available.
Thank you for that insightful advice, Mr. Jamil. You highlighted some crucial strategies on how people can curate Wakelet collections that avoid the pitfalls of echo chambers and information overload to create a truly valuable Wakelet collection, a big takeaway for our audience today is to embrace critical thinking and to consciously diversify collections while revisiting them, whether it's by including various perspectives from teachers, experts, or other sources, or collaborating with your peers to introduce fresh ideas and challenge your own thinking. Given the advent of AI and deepfakes, it's important that we always evaluate the information that we use to ensure balance and accuracy by asking questions like, is this from a verified source, or is the article, if I whatever article I'm using, is it biased, or does it include a particular bias? Most importantly, define a clear purpose, like you emphasized, Mr. Jamil, for your collection. And actually, I remember the Wakelet Student Ambassador Program has a lot of tasks which helps us to do just that. It's a great way to get started with learning all about curation along with the essential 21st century skills while creating cool collections. So to our student listeners, do check out a more detailed discussion on curation and how it can be integrated with the educational purpose with other skills in the 21st century learning design in our previous episode with Ms. Tisha Ponce. And also do check out the Wakelet Student Ambassador Program. Well, Mr. Jamil, from our discussion so far, it's clear that Wakelet has a thoughtful vision behind it. So could you tell us the tale behind Wakelet, and can you describe how its original vision has evolved ever since its inception?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, the story of Wakelet began with a simple but just powerful idea to create a space where people can organize, share, and present information in a very meaningful way, which is personal to them. And this inspirational came from my experiences of struggling to keep track of all the information I was encountering daily at school, at university, and at Airbus. And whether it was articles, videos, or ideas, there was no really easy way of gathering them all together in one place and presenting them in a way which made sense. So I wanted to build something that would solve this problem, not just for me, but for anyone that needed to make sense of this digital world. And my original vision for Wakelet was to create the platform that was versatile, intuitive, and really user-centric, something that would allow people to curate information and content effortlessly, but also allowing them to share their collections with others in a really beautiful and visually engaging personal way. Over time, as more people began to use Wakelet, we realized that it could be so much more, and educators started to use it to create resources for their students, professionals used it to organize projects, and communities used it to tell stories. So for us, as Wakelet evolved into a tool that empowers people to not only curate content, but also to create their own content, to collaborate, to learn, and to inspire others, we've introduced features accordingly to cater for these needs. So we've improved collaboration, we've integrated lots of things with other platforms, and we've provided the ability to embed almost any content. So the core idea of giving people control over the digital content remains the same. That's not really changed much. But Wakelet has grown into a platform that supports a wide range of use cases, from education and to personal branding and beyond. And we're seeing some really, really cool ways people are using Wakelet. And I think that's the exciting thing for me as a founder in a business. So to summarize, the journey's been unbelievably incredible. And what's exciting is that we're still evolving. We still feel that we're early in our journey. And we continue to always listen to our users. That's the point of our community, and really learning from our experiences and their experiences and adapting the platform to meet their needs. So the vision is much, much broader than what we started. But at the heart of it all, it's about making the web a bit more organized, accessible, and a human place.
Wow. Listening to all that, I still remember the first time I used Wakelet when I was in middle school, and listening to the story behind how it all began. It's truly inspiring and brings back so many memories. The most incredible tools are often the ones which address a dire need, especially the ones that you yourself have experienced in your early experiences. And it's amazing how a simple frustration can identify a need that can be translated into a product later on. For students, I can say that Wakelet acts as a digital backpack, a creative canvas, a window into countless worlds. And I love how it has evolved with its users, like you mentioned, Mr. Jamil, growing and adapting while staying true to its roots, balancing growth with some core values. Well, when we say that we balance growth with core values, it's not an easy task. Well, this brings me to my next question, Mr. Jamil. How do you ensure the sustainable growth of Wakelet with the preservation of its core values while also incorporating your personal passions with the practical aspects of running a business?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. I mean, ensuring the sustainable growth of Wakelet and staying true to our core values, it's something like I think about quite a lot. And from the beginning, we've been driven by a desire to empower people to organize and share content in a meaningful way. But as we've grown, it's been crucial to keep to that mission and keep that mission at the forefront of everything that we do so we don't lose sight of it. I think that's really, really important. And one of the ways we maintain this balance is by fostering a strong company culture that really prioritizes our values. And we make sure that everyone in the team understands and believes in our mission. And this guides all the things that we do and our decisions, whether we're developing new features, expanding into new markets, or even partnering with other organizations. And by staying true to our purpose, we can grow in a way that feels authentic and aligned with our original vision. I think that's really important to us in the business. So incorporating my personal passions into the business is another key aspect. I'm passionate about education, technology, and really more importantly, helping others to make the most of their potential. And these passions naturally align with what Wakelet is really all about. So it's not just about running a business for me. I never ever feel I'm at work. It's really about doing something that genuinely excites me and that I really believe in deeply. So balancing this with practical aspects of running a business, though, requires a focus on both vision and execution. A business is a different beast in its own. So for us, it's about setting clear goals, being adaptable to change, making sure we're building things that are sustainable and that can support the company in the long term. And this means really paying attention to user feedback. This is at the core of everything that we do. We need to keep people happy. We need to keep improving the product. And we need to make sure Wakelet's in a financially stable position as well. And these things can evolve and change over time. Another thing we just need to keep our eyes on is market trends and basically looking around and seeing what's changing technologically and how people are utilizing things. So we never need to lose sight of these things in the first place. So to summarize, it's really a combination of passion, purpose, and practicality. And by staying grounded in our core values and being strategic about how we grow, we can continue to expand Wakelet in a way that benefits our users and, more importantly, remains true to what we stand for.
Absolutely. Authenticity lies at the core of everything: passion, purpose, and practicality. That's brilliant, Mr. Jamil. Ensuring sustainable growth while preserving core values is important for any product. And Wakelet is a great example of how this can be achieved. Staying connected to the community, valuing user feedback, making it more supportive of learning and creativity is definitely the key to maintaining those values and balancing those personal passions. It comes naturally if you have made the product, and the practical aspects of running a business allows for growth that doesn't compromise the original mission. Your approach, Mr. Jamil, definitely demonstrates a thoughtful, a long-term sustainable growth that it is possible in a rapidly evolving digital landscape. Speaking of which brings me to the next question. Wakelet has a very interesting motto which resonates in this context. The humans are coming, and we'd love to know, how have you navigated the challenge of championing human creation in an algorithm-driven digital landscape? Can you tell us more about the origin and the motto's evolution within Wakelet?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, the humans are coming isn't just a motto for Wakelet. It's really part of our identity. And in a world where AI and algorithms are increasingly shaping our digital experiences, we believe in placing people at the center of curation. So rather than letting machines solely decide on what content we see, we empower individuals to curate that content that reflects their own unique perspectives. Now, this approach is rooted in our belief that technology, including AI, should work alongside people and not always replace them. There's places where AI will replace people, and there's places where AI won't do that. So when we started Wakelet, we see how much of the digital landscape was shaped by these algorithms. They're efficient, but often lacking like the nuance of context, and only humans, I think, can provide this properly. So we wanted to create a platform where human judgment and creativity would shine while still harnessing the power of AI to enhance the experience. So in today's AI-driven world, this balance is very crucial, and AI is incredibly powerful, offering efficiency and speed and in delivering content, but it's the human touch that adds the depth, the meaning, and the personalization. That's why we focus on building the tools that combine the strengths of both. So we started to improve Wakelet, bringing AI capabilities into the platform, but keeping human curation at the core of it. And by allowing our users to organize and share content in this way that's personal to them, we create a richer, more diverse digital experience. Now, one more point, the humans are coming also guides how we interact as a team with each other, with our community. We strive to be kind, empathetic, and supportive in all our interactions. So, for example, when users reach out to us, we try to get back to them quickly. We try to solve issues. We try to listen to their feedback. We want to foster externally and internally a positive and inclusive environment. And we believe that by reflecting these qualities, we can create a space where everybody feels valued and empowered. And Wakelet becomes not just a tool, but a whole community where people like each other, get to know each other, and collaborate with different people across the world.
That's brilliant, Mr. Jamil. Well, algorithms are good at sorting and recommending content. They definitely lack the understanding and creativity that humans bring, as we call it, the human touch. And with its motto and the core values, Wakelet addresses this by prioritizing human-driven curation and allowing us to organize and share content in ways that reflect our individual perspectives and passions with the humans are coming. So when we hear that tech will likely replace human beings, it's important to remember not only as a person who works for a product, but also as a digital native and a user, that technology should enhance, not replace human interaction. And this naturally brings us to our next question, Mr. Jamil. With the concept of humans are coming, how do you see human-centric design evolving as technology advances?
Yeah, I mean, as technology advances, human-centric design is becoming more vital. And the idea behind the humans is coming is that despite rapid technological growth, the human element should remain central to the design and development. And so as we integrate more sophisticated technologies like AI and machine learning, it's crucial that these tools enhance rather than replace. Interaction is exactly what you've just described. And in the future, I see human-centric design evolving to focus more on creating intuitive and empathetic interfaces that adapt to individual needs and preferences. So advances in technology should not just be used to make experiences more personalized and accessible, but also more efficient. So for instance, AI can be harnessed to provide smarter recommendations or automate repetitive tasks. But the core design should always prioritize human values such as ease of use and emotional engagement. I think that emotional part of the engagement will become more important. Additionally, as technology becomes more pervasive, we must ensure that it supports and amplifies human creativity and decision-making. This means that we should design systems that are not only user-friendly, but also promote meaningful interaction and collaboration. The goal really is to create environments where technology and human insight work seamlessly together, making the digital experience more enriching and aligned with individual needs. So ultimately, human-centric design should guide technological progress, ensuring that as technology evolves, it continues to serve and enhance the human experience rather than just overshadow it.
Absolutely. In today's context, where digital experiences can sometimes be very impersonal, human-centric design becomes essential for building more meaningful connections with both the content and with each other. We envision a future where design prioritizes accessibility, inclusivity, and personalization as students. And in an ideal scenario, technology should adapt to us, not the other way around. And this means creating experiences that complement human creativity, like you mentioned, Mr. Jamil, intuition and empathy, and designing systems that leverage AI to support human decision making rather than replacing it. And speaking of creativity, I'm sure that there have been some very surprising ways how users have utilized Wakelet. So, Mr. Jamil, can you tell us what were some of the most innovative ways users have utilized Wakelet and that you hadn't anticipated?
Yeah, I mean, I can probably spend 5 hours going through all the different crazy ways that people are using Wakelet. And every day I see a different way, and it's exciting. And we've got this little competition in the team who can find the best way someone used Wakelet. So it's quite cool. But really, we originally designed Wakelet with educators in mind, thinking that they'd use it to bookmark content, gather resources, create lesson plans, and build digital portfolios. And for that, it's been fantastic to see how well these features are working for that purpose. But what's really interesting are, like you mentioned, unexpected ways people have started using Wakelet. For example, some schools have turned it into a lost and found tool. They've created like an inventory management system to track down missing items. So just to give you this picture, they've created a collection, they've put it in the mood board layout, and they've added images of kids' items, and each image has got its own number on it. And there's a phone number where the parents call into the schools, they claim item number 320, which could be a kid's scarf. I thought that was really cool. And to make it funnier, they've added this onto the school website, so the parents can access the lost and found area straight from the school website. Others also in this space use it to preserve like special events. Some of the universities are using it to collate information from graduation ceremonies. You can imagine people grabbing things from TikTok, from Instagram, images, YouTube videos, adding their own stuff as well to collect events, alumni gatherings, and really making sure that these special moments aren't lost. We've also seen teachers using it in their personal lives. So they've planned weddings, they've gathered information for their kids to go to college, they've made shopping lists, and one teacher even shared some gardening tutorials and a list of weed killers to basically send to her husband when he was shopping. That was quite intriguing. So look, additionally, groups are using Wakelet for community building and activism. They're organizing and sharing information about special causes, social causes, and events, which is inspiring to see for us. And these surprising use cases show how flexible Wakelet can be. And that's the exciting thing for us as a team, to see all the different and creative ways people are using it beyond what we first imagined.
The human creativity never ceases to amaze me, and those surely are some wonderful use cases from which our listeners can take inspiration from, perfectly demonstrating that when a platform is open to creativity, it can adapt to different needs and empower users to explore new and meaningful ways to connect, learn, and share. Well, Mr. Jamil, keeping up with such a dynamic user base must be both challenging and exciting. So, in the rapidly changing digital landscape, how do you ensure Wakelet stays relevant and ahead of the curve?
Yeah, I think that's another good question. You've got a lot of good questions here. Staying relevant in a fast evolving digital world is really about being adaptable and staying close to our users. And that's really the core of what we focus on at Wakelet, on these kind of key strategies, so we can try to stay ahead of the curve. Firstly, we listen actively to our users. Their feedback is very important to us. You've seen all the different sessions we have with our community members, the webinars we have in place. We've got all sorts of channels to help us understand their needs and challenges. And this informs our development process. And by regularly engaging with our community, we can make improvements and introduce features that truly make a difference. Secondly, we keep a close eye on industry trends and emerging technologies. This means exploring new advancements and figuring out how they might enhance our platform, whether it's new ways to integrate multimedia or advancements in interface design. We want to kind of incorporate relevant innovations that benefits our users. And thirdly, we're committed to continuous improvement. Our team kind of regularly reviews our features and functionalities to ensure that they meet the current needs and anticipate future demands. And this proactive approach allows us to refine and expand our offerings in line with technological progress and our user expectations. And really inside the company, we've fostered a culture of innovation within the team. We encourage people to use their creativity and experimentation because we know that this will help us stay ahead of trends and really explore new possibilities for Wakelet. So by combining user feedback, industry awareness, continuous improvement, and allowing the team to have a culture of innovation, we strive to keep Wakelet not just relevant, but also leading the digital landscape.
That's spot on, Mr. Jamil. Users need at the center, and industry trends and evolving as the users need change. Well, that's what makes Wakelet. It's in a rapidly changing digital world. Staying relevant is all about adaptability and listening to the community. And like you mentioned, the key is balancing innovation with understanding what users want. And this can be done by constantly gathering feedback from users like us and staying curious about new technologies and trends, ensuring that the product evolves to meet the needs, the changing needs of the users, keeping it fresh and valuable for everybody. And it all happens when you have a growth mindset and when you're open to change. And speaking to adapting to change, let's explore the deeper meaning behind being the creator of a versatile edtech tool. Mr. Jamil, it's often said that failure is a stepping stone to success. So, how do you perceive risk and failure, and what role have they played in your journey?
I mean, just from my background, I've failed lots of times in lots of things. So for me, I view risk as and failure really as essential parts of the journey, not really obstacles to avoid. And from my perspective, taking risks is necessary for growth and innovation. It's really more about stepping out of your comfort zone and trying new things, even when the outcome is uncertain. So even just for me, leaving a great job at Airbus, I loved my job. I was progressing in the company. I loved airplanes. And then I decided to jump ship, not because I didn't like the company, because I wanted to do something different. I didn't know whether this was going to start, this was going to work, it was even viable. But so without risks, we won't make those breakthroughs that drive progress. Failure, on the other hand, is actually a powerful teacher. It provides us valuable lessons and insights that we can't get from success alone. We might have done something luckily if we were successful, but from failure, we can actually figure out new insights and learn new things. So every failure I've experienced has often offered a chance to learn, adapt, and also improve. It's through those experiences that I've gained this resilience and clarity. And in my journey of Wakelet, there have been certainly a lot of challenges and setbacks. We don't always get things right, even though we try to. So, but each one has helped us to kind of refine our approach, understand our users more, build a stronger platform, build a stronger relationship between each other and the team as well. And instead of seeing failure as a setback, I see it as an opportunity to reassess, innovate, and move forward with more knowledge and experience. So while risk and failure can be daunting, they really play a crucial role in shaping our path to success, and embracing them with a positive mindset helps us to grow, adapt, and ultimately achieve our goals.
That's so reassuring, Mr. Jamil. The fear of failure often holds so many of us back, causing us to miss out on great opportunities. However, as they say, fail fast and learn quickly. Taking risks allows us to explore new ideas, and learning from failure allows us to refine our approach. And it's all about viewing challenges as opportunities, as chances to grow and improve, just like Wakelet did. A big part of that was risk and also exploring and testing new waters, or should I say, surfing new waves. Which brings me to my next question. Mr. Jamil, one of the biggest superpowers of Wakelet is its vibrant community of curators and storytellers who hail from various walks of life. In what ways does Wakelet utilize this intersection of authentic connections, business growth, and customer loyalty to build a better Wakelet? And what advice do you have for folks who aspire to establish a similar community?
Yeah, I mean, before I answer the question, I just wanted to take this moment to say, really thank you to all our ambassadors, community leaders, and community members, our super trainers, our Wakelet certified users. I mean, you guys are part of our extended team. You're part of our extended family. You inspire us. You've helped us to get through all the ups and downs that we go through every single day, like a lot of other companies go through. And you've kept us inspired on this journey. So thank you. And Wakelet wouldn't be Wakelet without you all. So for me, firstly, authentic connections is really about providing users and letting users provide valuable feedback and insights. So by actively listening to their needs and experiences, we can refine our features, improve the user experience, and address their pain points. And this direct line to our community helps us to stay aligned with what matters most to our users, and then to ensure that Wakelet evolves in a way that genuinely benefits them. So you've spoken, Simar, yourself frequently with our team. We're very accessible people. We always want to talk. We always want to hear feedback. We always want to hear how people are using Wakelet. So secondly, the stories and content shared by our users plays a very crucial role in driving the business growth. And as our users create and share collections, they will not only showcase the platform's versatility, but it'll also help attract new users to the platform through word of mouth and then social sharing. And this organic growth is a testament to the value of our community in Wakelet. And this helps build some customer loyalty as well. So lastly, fostering a sense of community helps to build long-lasting relationships. We engage with our users through regular updates, feature announcements, and support, making them feel valued and heard. And this strengthens their connection to the platform and to us and encourages continued use and advocacy. So for those inspiring to kind of build a similar community, my advice would be to focus on 3 things. Engage authentically with people, so make genuine connections with your users, listen to their feedback, understand their needs, and show that your value basically grows and the value that they provide to you gets taken into account. Also, like, encourage sharing, like create opportunities for your community to share their experiences and their stories. This not only helps in growing your platform, but also builds a sense of belonging and loyalty among users. And then really provide recognition and support, like provide excellent support and recognize the contributions of the community. We send all sorts of stuff to our community, including beautiful swag and all sorts of things, but sometimes just nice little thank you messages, personal thank you messages. I've DM'd people personally. Lots of people in the community have got my personal phone number and they'll message me on stuff. So it's all sorts of stuff. And then celebrate their successes and show your appreciation for the engagement. So if you nurture all these aspects, you can build a strong, engaged community that basically both drives growth and loyalty, much like what we've seen really now with Wakelet.
Well, I have those Wakelet teas with my name, and it's so awesome. Absolutely. Building on our discussion, this underscores another important learning for our audience today. While many tech companies often concentrate solely on the technical and business aspects of their products, we have products like Wakelet. We have communities like Wakelet, which shows us the vibrant and engaged community is just as essential as business success. It's like this blend of business acumen and social engagement that creates an authentic and dynamic learning environment for everybody, not only for the people who build it, but also for the users. Both of them work together hand in hand. So for those who are aspiring to build a similar community, remember to prioritize authentic user engagement, encourage collaborative contribution, and consistently recognize and value your users, just like Mr. Jamil mentioned Wakelet does. Right, moving on to our next question. As a superhero who has navigated the startup world successfully, what advice would you give to students who aspire to start their own tech ventures?
Okay, so if you're dreaming to start your own company, there's a few key pieces of advice I'd offer based on my experiences. So I think this is important at the beginning. So start with a problem. So focus on solving a real problem or addressing a genuine need. Sometimes, like, successful ventures often stem from identifying a challenge you're passionate about. The journey is not easy, so you need to care about what you're doing. And then you need to find innovative ways to tackle that problem. So understanding the problem deeply will guide your development and help you create solutions that really resonate well with the users. And this is a very important point. If you don't have a real problem that you really care about, it's probably not the right time to start the business. The other thing is to build a good team. Like, you always want to work with people around you that are powerful, that complement that sharing your vision. So a strong, diverse team can bring a lot of different perspectives and expertise to the table. And this is really, really important for overcoming challenges and driving the business forward. So I, at the beginning of Wakelet, just met people online. And one of them I met I was traveling back from France, and we met at the luggage carousel, and we were just talking. And then later on, he added me on LinkedIn. And when I looked at his profile, he ended up being a web designer. So I approached him, and that's one of the first people that joined Wakelet. So, and at the beginning, when I hired them, it was not really solely on skills. I thought to myself, they've got skills that I don't have, but I like this person, and they were passionate about what I pitched to them. So that's kind of, for me, was a good marriage in that angle. Then I think you have to stay lean and adapt. It's easy just to try to grow everything super quick. But at the beginning, I think you need to keep everything focused on the center of your development process. So you need to engage with your users and gather feedback. Don't try to run before you can walk. If you lay good foundations in place, then you can scale something properly. We made a lot of mistakes initially because of this. We tried to grow quicker than we could grow. We didn't get certain things right. So I think at the beginning, just take your time, do things properly, speak to your users, get their insights so you can refine your product and build something that truly meets their needs. This will increase really your chances of success. And just based on what we discussed then, the next point I'd say is learn from your failures. Don't be afraid to fail. We've done 100 things wrong. It's natural. It's part of the startup journey. And every setback offers valuable lessons that can help you improve and grow. Embrace those failures as learning opportunities and use them to strengthen your approach. And the last point is just be persistent. Nothing happens like you think it's going to happen. Nothing happens overnight. Sometimes you've got to be patient. So starting a tech company can be very challenging and requires so much persistence. There were so many obstacles along the way with Wakelet, and maybe we should have never been here, but staying committed to our vision and working through these difficulties, always being forgiving, always giving people another go, always pushing and never quitting. I think these are all essential for achieving success. Patience.
Absolutely. Wakelet started as a need felt by a child to have some way to organize his thoughts, so that with genuine need and finding your flock, your people who are just as passionate as you are, even though they have diverse skill sets, they can bring in different perspectives. And bringing all these things together can lay a strong foundation and help us to grow. Fail fast, learn and evolve. Persistence, remember your why you started. That lies at the core of everything that you do. Stay curious and adapt by continuous learning. Well, those were some great takeaways for our audience today, Mr. Jamil. As we think about our future, I'd like to circle back to the point that came up in our conversation earlier about content curation and content creation. So, how do you see the balance between content curation and content creation evolving in the future? And what role do you think will it play in this evolution?
Yeah. Look, the balance between content creation and content curation is likely to shift as both areas continue to evolve. So in the future, we might see a greater emphasis on curation alongside content creation due to the growing amount of information and the need for more meaningful and organized ways to present it. So content creation will remain essential. This fuels our digital landscape with fresh ideas and perspective. However, as information overload becomes more prevalent, effective curation will become increasingly more important, and curators will need to sift through vast amounts of content to highlight the most relevant, high quality and trustworthy information, making it more accessible and useful for others. So Wakelet really is well positioned to play a significant role in this evolution, and our platform is designed to help users organize, showcase, and share this content in a way that emphasizes quality and relevance. So by providing these tools for creating curated collections, Wakelet supports the users in presenting information in a structured and engaging manner. So we've brought both aspects of curation and creation in Wakelet. We've got integrations with partners. We've allowed people to upload their own stuff and add their own text, and this will continue to evolve. So as we move forward with Wakelet, we'll continue to focus on enabling effective curation while supporting content creators. And we aim to bridge the gap between these two areas, offering these features that allow users to blend their own content with curated resources, creating that richer and more comprehensive experience.
Absolutely. when we think about it historically and traditionally, curation generally referred to organizing and presenting art in museums to create memorable experiences for viewers. However, in today's digital age, this concept of curation has expanded beyond physical spaces to include the organization of these vast amount of information which is available online. And as digital natives engaging in content creation, we often focus intensely on generating new material. However, it's equally important to manage and curate the content that we produce and consume. Otherwise, the information can be lost in the noise. Our own creations can become disorganized and disconnected. So, curation does hold immense potential and importance as a skill for anybody who creates. And adding to the skill, we could use a tool that allows individuals and organizations to collect, categorize, and share content in a visually appealing and accessible way. And Wakelet does just that. For students who are using Wakelet to learn, Mr. Jamil, what tips would you give them to maximize their learning experience and make the most out of the platform features?
Yeah, I mean, look, I use Wakelet personally every single day for all sorts of things. So sometimes it's a lot of personal leisure, reading, even for work. I use it heavily. So for students looking to get the most out of Wakelet, I think for me, organize your collections, like create separate collections for different subjects or projects. This helps you keep your resources organized and easily accessible. So start with something small, because once you've understood the concept of curation and creation, you'll start to get your own ideas in what you can do with Wakelet. It is such a vast tool. So the great thing, as I mentioned before, is you can add notes, links, multimedia to each collection, making it a really comprehensive study tool. Also, use it with others. Use the collaboration features. Take advantage of Wakelet's collaboration tools. Share your collections with your classmates or study groups and work together on things. Like you can create projects, exchange ideas, provide feedback, and this makes everything and that whole experience more powerful and more meaningful. Also, use different media. Don't just stick to the things that you like add images, add text, add sound files, add audio, add stuff from different platforms and different places, add podcasts. I think there's so much you can do in Wakelet, and you can add all the complementary notes and infographics just to make those experiences and that content very rich. And then go back and review it regularly. Don't just create something once and leave it. This is about refinement. So keep them up to date, keep refining them, keep changing them as you learn and grow. And also look at the search functionality. You'll probably find some ideas and examples. We are improving this. We've not put a lot of energy into this before, but we're starting to improve this. So you can actually find and see what other users are doing on the platform. If you head over to the Explore page, you'll see public collections. You'll be able to filter them down by certain topics, and you'll start to see how different people are using Wakelet. And it's quite exciting.
Awesome. Those are some great tips for our student curators who look forward to surfing the Wakelet wave with speed. Us as SDG Warriors, we've experienced Wakelet in project education and the student projects firsthand. And for having a better experience, organization and structure in our collections, we remember to start small, like you mentioned, not to go really fast with the flow of everything, using proper nomenclature, writing our own notes or comments to explain the content or to connect it with other concepts, embracing the power of app smashing and integrations which are inbuilt to the platform, and including lots and lots of multimedia elements to make our connections much more visually appealing. Our favorites are GIFs, definitely. And don't forget, for our listeners, don't forget to share your collections, whether it's with your classmates, teachers, or with other communities to spark discussions and collaborations. It's all about experimentation and remixing. Well, Mr. Jamil, that was fantastic. Shifting gears up and picking up the pace. Are you ready for a rapid fire round?
Yep, let's go.
Mr. Jamil, imagine a day Wakelet's collections could come to life. What would you expect to see, hear, or experience when browsing a collection?
Oh, wow. Interesting question. So what I'd see if something came to life, I can probably envisage walking into a collection like I'm walking into an escape room somewhere. probably bits of content popping out, activities to do, things to figure out, crazy noises that pop out of somewhere. So just giving me that full immersive experience and making me not just see something sometimes statically, but also bringing that full immersion and basically personalization to the collections. That would be a really cool experience.
Oh, as you described that, I could literally visualize the entire immersive and multi-sensory experience of being in that Wakelet collection. And who knows, maybe one day technology would become so advanced that we would be able to experience all that wonder.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whew. Well, moving on to the next question. Mr. Jamil, if someone were to write a song about your life, what genre would best capture your story, and which artist would you choose to sing it?
I think I'll probably have to be something like Lady Gaga. I think that'll have to do something about me. I think I'm a bit of a maverick as well. I've had ups and downs and challenges and persistent stuff in my life. So I think she probably summarized me the most and do the craziest job. I think we've all got a bit of craziness in us to do what we do. And I kind of like her music. It has emotion, it has passion, it's unique. And I think that would basically work well with me.
Absolutely. I have listened to so many of her songs, Poker Face and Rain on Me featuring Ariana Grande. That was like such a jam back in 2021. I still remember. Whew. Well, moving on to the next question. If you could blend Manchester with any other city in the world to create a new hybrid destination, which city would you choose and what features would you combine?
Okay, so I'd probably blend Manchester with Dubai. And look, Manchester's green and beautiful. And I like a lot of aspects about Manchester, but also Dubai's got a lot of sophistication, good weather. I'll probably try to combine the weather together to half the temperature of what Dubai does, just to bring a bit more sun across. I think what I like about Dubai is more the engineering, the sophistication, the idea that these things should not be here. These big buildings should not be built on a desert. I think for me, Dubai is about a visionary future, a future where everything is possible. And that's what I kind of like about Dubai. And also I love about Manchester, I love the British countryside. I think the scenery, the grass, the buildings, I think the architecture, the history, I think that combination would be really powerful.
Well, you've spoken like a true engineer. That sounds like a wonderful destination and definitely a must visit on our next vacation.
Of
Well,
course.
that was fun, Mr. Jamil. We've covered a lot of ground today, from your journey as a student balancing multiple responsibilities to becoming an aerospace engineer, to building a community-driven platform called Wakelet, and all your insights into curation, human-centric design, and innovation. It's been such an insightful and thought-provoking conversation so far. As we come to the end of this episode, let's wrap up all the learnings and takeaways in our last segment, the Inspire segment. Mr. Jamil, who or what has been your biggest inspiration in life and why?
I think, look, my biggest inspiration to me has been my mum. Even though she passed away when I was 12, like her strength and resilience had a deep impact on me. And despite the many challenges she faced, she always put our family first and approached life with like incredible grace. And one of the most important lessons she taught me was the significance of putting God first. She lived a life of like unwavering faith, believing that everything happens according to God's will. And this perspective helped me remain calm and focused, no matter how difficult things became. She also instilled in me the values of kindness, empathy, and strong morals. And her ability to kind of deeply care about others and stay true to her principles, even during really very tough times, has been a guiding light on my own life. And her faith and her example of living with purpose and compassion continues to inspire me. So even though she's no longer here, her lessons and her faith still influence how I approach life. And they remind me to stay focused on my goals, to work really hard, and to treat others with respect and kindness. And her memory, along with the faith she imparted, kind of serves as a constant source of motivation and guidance.
Thank you, Mama Jamil. Indeed, there our inspirations. They are like our North Star, especially our moms. They guide us towards the goals that we set and remind us constantly of what truly matters. Well, Mr. Jamil, what words of inspiration were given to you that you would like to pass along to others?
I think I'll just put a few points here. Everything in life is possible. Sometimes things take time to happen. Nothing happens in 2 minutes. If you believe in something, pursue it, work hard, be persistent, get support, ask for help, work with others, and don't be afraid to fail. I think if you have these core kind of principles, you'll end up in the right place eventually. Just bear in mind that good things take time. To build strong foundations, it takes time. There's always things you can do quickly, but quick things never last.
Absolutely. Once you have a strong foundation, you can dream big, bigger than you ever imagined, and the sky is the limit. Well, this brings us to the last question today, Mr. Jamil. Could you give us a call to action? What can we children and young people do to make the world a better place?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, exactly what you just said a few seconds ago. I'll echo that again. Start small and think big. Like, change doesn't just always need to be huge, grand gestures. Begin with something small, small, little, meaningful daily actions, whether it's helping a friend, supporting a local cause, or just practicing some kindness. These efforts can really create a ripple effect that leads to bigger change over time. It's like habit building. Also, like, use your voice and your ideas and your opinions. They're really valuable. And speak up about the issues that matter to you, whether it's about climate change or social justice or mental health, and use the platforms that you've got around you to basically talk and educate people around this. Get involved in school projects, community events, and share your thoughts to kind of inspire others to do the same. Always be kind of curious and learn. Educate yourself about the world and its challenges. The more informed you are, the better you are to kind of contribute to making things different and having solutions. So seek out diverse sources of information, engage in conversations, and broaden your horizons. It's really exciting when you learn. You discover all sorts of new things about the world, but also about yourself. And support and empower each other, like lift each other up. We're human. We need support. You can't do everything on your own, whether it's building a business, sometimes it's revising, you need some support. Collaboration really leads to innovation and it strengthens communities. So support your friends, share resources, build networks, and work with people who want to make positive change. And also be open-minded and non-judgmental. Approach others with empathy and without like stereotyping people. Don't jump to conclusions about people based on appearances, backgrounds. Instead, engage with them and see how they are. Be open to learning from different perspectives. I think it's very easy in this world today to kind of like judge people from what we hear in the media or what we hear on social media. I think we need to be able to cut through all that noise and make our own informed decisions on things. So this comes to my last point, which is practice critical thinking, really. Evaluate information carefully. Don't let people think for you. You've got a brain. This brain is powerful. You check out the information, you look at the sources, and you basically make your decision. So by questioning and analyzing information, rather than just basically accepting it at face value, you can make more informed decisions and advocate more effectively for change. So in summary, your actions, no matter how small, can make a massive difference. And by being proactive, informed, compassionate, and open-minded, you have the power to inspire change and contribute to a better world.
Well, I can't describe a better way to end today's discussion today, Mr. Jamil. Starting with a why. In a world where you can be anything, choose to be kind. No matter how small your action is, it counts. In an ocean, every little droplet counts. Your voice matters. And remember to question everything. Stay curious and be the change. Well, Mr. Jamil, when you're engaged in a meaningful conversation, time does fly fast.
It
We've
definitely
been
does.
speaking for more than an hour now, and I couldn't thank you enough for taking out time from your busy schedule as a founder and joining us for today's episode, listening to your entire journey and all your valuable insights on the power of curation and how it balances creation, your journey in aerospace engineering to building Wakelet, your key learnings as a founder, and your thoughts on human-centric design and innovation. It's all been so inspiring. Thank you so much once again.
No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And take care of yourself and stay in contact, Simar, as well. Thank you.
Yes. Well, to our listeners, we hope this conversation has sparked your interest in exploring the power of curation, innovation, and community driven platforms like Wakelet. Whether you're a student looking to better organize your studies, a creative individual seeking new ways to curate and present your work, your voices, your ideas, or simply someone interested in the evolving landscape of the digital content, we hope you've understood the importance of staying connected with communities. To begin surfing the Wakelet wave, head over to wakelet.com. The humans are coming, the humans are here. Let's work together to create a more organized world. And to deepen your knowledge on everything STEM, sustainability, and education, subscribe to the SDG Warriors Podcast for in-depth discussions and meaningful conversations with leading experts like Mr. Jamil, who are shaping a better world, one action, one idea at a time. If you love this episode, help others find it by leaving a review and sharing it with your friends, teachers, and family. Stay curious and be the change. Until next time, it's bye from the SDG Warriors.
Thank you. Bye-bye.